Do you live in one of the major cities in the UK? Do you live in Birmingham? I have a very specific question about Birmingham. Is Birmingham the first major city in the UK, and it is the second largest city? Is it the first one to be fully lost, finished, no longer part of what you would once consider England, no longer part of the fabric of our society? Gone, lost. That's a big statement to make. Why do I say that? Well, lots of things have gone on and are going on in Birmingham that point to that. So I put a video on a few days ago, maybe a week or so ago, talking about electoral and voting irregularities in Birmingham. There were reports from 50 different polling stations of blatant block voting, family voting, call it what you will. People were turning up in family groups or community groups, and the man of the household or the lead figure within the community was directing the younger members of the family how to vote. Multiple people going into the actual polling booth together, mothers telling daughters how to vote. That was blatant. It's been reported in 50 different polling stations as well, not just one or two or a few, 50 of them across the city. So that's one example. Birmingham City Council now are apparently trying to bring in a new regulation/law which says that anybody raising or putting a Union Jack flag on a public lamppost or a piece of public property can be potentially prosecuted and given up to 2 years in prison for flying your own national flag. 2 years in prison just for putting a flag up. Really? Does that make any sense? Then you go back to last season, the football season, when Maccabi Tel Aviv, the Jewish football team, were coming to play against Aston Villa. And uproar broke out, and the local community were outraged that a Jewish team were coming to play in their city, and put so much pressure on West Midlands Police that West Midlands Police effectively cancelled it and wouldn't let any fans come to the game. And that's since been admitted that that was under pressure from a certain community. And then you look at what's going on the streets of Birmingham, in the canals around Birmingham. It's not the city it once was. It's not recognisable as the city that it once was. It's changing very, very, very fast. Look at who the mayor of Birmingham is. Is it possible to turn that around? Is it possible to reverse that? Is it possible to get it back to where it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago? Excuse me. Do you live in Birmingham? Are you a resident of Birmingham? Tell me your experiences. Tell me what you think is happening in that city. Tell me whether it's the city that you grew up in. You might be happy about the way things are going, in which case tell me that as well and tell me why. Is it going too far? Am I exaggerating in saying it's a city that's lost? And quite probably the first of many, because London is not that far behind. 10 years maybe. What about Manchester? What about Leeds? Leicester? You could equally argue that Leicester is exactly the same as Birmingham. Many, many others all appear to be heading in the same direction. So what do we do about that? Do we just accept it? Do we just say, oh, well, that's the way things go. That's the way the world changes. That's the way demographics work. Is that something we should just accept? That all of our major cities, that at some stage in the next 30 years, London and Birmingham and Manchester and Liverpool and Leicester and Coventry and Bradford and Leeds and Newcastle and Oxford and Cambridge and Brighton and Luton and all of the big towns and cities head in the same direction and are completely unrecognisable, work under completely different rules, different laws, different governance to the rest of the country? Because then effectively what you're doing is dividing the country in two. You've got an entirely different rural community and rural life set to a town and city community. Now, you've always had that to some extent, but they always operated under the same laws, the same culture, the same traditions, the same outcomes to an extent, albeit that life was very different in a big city to what it was in a rural community. But we're heading towards a situation where it's not just that they're different, they might as well be entirely different countries. Birmingham now is effectively totally different from most of the rest of England. Is that something we should just accept? Is that something we should just go, well, that's what happens? I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I think every possible measure we can think of should be taken to reverse that and turn it around. But I'm interested to hear what you think.